The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. If you're a sensitive snowflake that may get easily offended, then turn this off immediately. If you want to hear the real truth about the gun culture, then stick around. This is the Armed Citizen Podcast. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 238. Today's date is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. We are live, as always, on YouTube and over on Facebook. So if you're out there in the live chat, go ahead and say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you are interested in making a comment, asking a question, make sure you tag myself or someone else in the panel, and we'll make sure, as long as they're relatively similar to what we're talking about, we'll get those questions asked. If you want to call or text in, yes, you can call and text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates at Aegis Gun Care. That phone number is 530-364-4678. It is scrolling right down below. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I sure as hell could probably be a decent ear to listen to and maybe help you through some stuff. If you are looking for someone that can get you towards medical advice, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. There are a lot of brothers and sisters out here that are more than happy to help you. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please, I implore you, please, utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline. 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255, the Veteran Crisis Hotline. Veterans, press the number 1. We are always spotlighting the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And as always, we are a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Please check out all the great podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net. Let me take this off of my ugly mug. And we have a very special guest tonight. We have Spencer, who's a fellow jarhead, crayon eater, whatever you want to call us, from Trailblazer Firearms. Before we kind of get going into that, let's say hello to Spencer. What's going on, man? You hear me okay?
Hey, Trey. Yeah, I got you good. How's it going?
Right. It's going great. So, the history of the company is a cool one. Some amazing, innovative products that we will get into and all of that. Before we do, we always on Thursday, Saturday, and Monday mornings at 10 a.m. over to our community tab on YouTube, we put out our polls. So everybody has fun with them. We like to have some fun with them. So before we get going, we always go through our polls, and we're waiting for Leprechaun to show up because I like to make fun of him. But, the diva has to be late, but he's really late tonight. He's trying to make an entrance. So when he gets here, everybody give him shit for, give him shit for wasting all of our time. So the first poll we had, obviously this past weekend, was Easter. So the first poll was 5 days ago. It's got 686 votes at this time. It says, aside from church, what's your favorite Easter tradition? Is it an Easter egg hunt, Easter lunch or brunch or whatever, painting your Easter eggs, taking picture with the Easter bunny, or other? So I'm going to ask Spencer, aside from church, of those choices, do you have a favorite Easter tradition either now or when you were growing up?
Man, I would say growing up, I think it was the painting Easter eggs. We used to get the little kit, and you can dunk them in the ink and dye them and everything. But now that I have kids, man, it's the Easter egg hunt because they go crazy for that. So
and it's fun for us as parents. My daughter's almost 25, so I don't do that anymore. But
I'm almost 25.
And I just
no, I'm just kidding. I'm older than that, but
yeah, but shut up. That makes me feel old as hell. I got a text from Clover and he says, running late. No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. We didn't know. But for me, yeah, it was when she was young, like child, like maybe 5 and under, 3 and under, it was definitely the dyeing, the painting of the Easter eggs. But for me, I had fun, and my wife, I think, had fun as well with the Easter egg hunt, is hiding them, trying to get creative of where to hide them. And I think 1 or 2 years we like numbered them like 1 through 20 or whatever. And so that we knew how many were out there.
Yeah.
And so we always kind of knew if we found them all and all that. So that was always fun.
Oh yeah. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they did their first one this year, and it was so fun just going around with them, pointing at them, because they're not that good at finding them at that age, but it was fun to help them out.
Absolutely. Well, and like I said, for me, the more fun was hiding them and seeing, you want to make it tough, but you want to make them able to find them, but you want to have a little fun with it as well. And then
that's right.
Yeah. So far, 51% of the votes said Easter lunch or brunch. 27% said the Easter egg hunt. Painting Easter eggs got 10%. Other got 9%, and taking pictures with the bunny is 2%. So of the other, a lot of them was just more, not necessarily the lunch, more like the dinner or just spending time with the families. A lot of people mentioned the 50% off Easter candy the next day is the best part.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And obviously the religious side of Easter came up, but but yeah, it was a lot of people said Easter range day. A lot of families may take that especially if you live in like a cold weather place. Easter might be kind of warm enough that first range day as a family. So that's kind of cool. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's so. I don't think I usually go to the range on Easter. That's cool. It's different when you have kids,
So my wife, I'm not sure what this is. My wife just said this came in the mail. Crayons class pack.
Oh, it's a lifetime supply of snacks.
Might be a joke, maybe from someone. I'll have to look into this after we get off air, but that's a large box of crayons. So if someone's out there and sent that to me, thank you. Rarlin, I don't know. That's kind of cool. So I'll have to look at that when the show gets over. I thought it was her. I said there's a big old box of
that's awesome.
Something from Amazon. And
man, at what point do people start sending you stuff in the mail?
It's happened from a long time ago. It's been happening, like I said, a lot of the stuff back here, a lot of these signs and all that. The crayons are from friends of mine and viewers and all that. So it's kind of cool. So yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So the second one, this was released Saturday. It's got 1.1 thousand votes. What's your favorite Easter candy? Now it's hard because there's a lot of great ones out there, but I've put 4 and then I always put like an other so people can, do that. Chocolate Easter bunny, jelly beans, Cadbury eggs, Reese's eggs, or other.
Man, out of those choices,
or you can put the other and say whatever it is,
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only candy I ate this past Easter was jelly beans, to be honest, because that's all we put in for the little kids. But I mean, I just like regular Reese's cups, So Reese's eggs, that's probably an egg-shaped Reese's cup, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and by far those are leading. That's at 46%. So the Reese's eggs. Yeah. My favorite are the Cadbury eggs. That's in second place at 21%. Jelly beans and the chocolate Easter bunny are at 14%. Other is 5%, and the vast majority. I don't know what these are, but the vast majority of the others said Peeps. Have you ever heard of Peeps?
Oh yeah, I almost brought up Peeps just as a joke because it's kind of a meme candy, but I mean, I don't care.
I guess I might know what they are if I saw it, but the name Peeps doesn't like.
I think they're like duckling shaped marshmallows in multiple colors. Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not a huge marshmallow guy. That's probably why it's not a big. I know exactly what they're like. They're pink and yellows and all sorts.
And they're like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
So there is someone that I saw out here.
The comment section is not a fan of peeps.
Yeah. Peeps are Mr. If and H did not hold anything back. Jeff over at Gear Reports that peeps are trash. Peeps are disgusting. TJ says he's eating jelly beans right now, which he should be on here because he has a link. TJ from Gear Report. Don't know why he's not. He said his internet's weird, but you can jump on your phone if you want, bro. If you want, I'm just saying. Real quick, super chat, $2 super chat for a mandatory carry. People, we know that we appreciate you, mandatory. He says, and keep fighting for $2. Appreciate you, brother. We do not ask, nor do we expect super chats, but all of our super chats go to sending care packages to our troops downrange. So, been doing that for about a year and a half now. We've been able to send, we've raised almost $2,000, and they say that the average care package costs about $15. So we spent well over 100 care packages downrange. So that's pretty cool.
Man, can I comment on that real quick?
Yeah, man, go for it.
So a lot of the people who work around here are vets, and one of our most recent hires, not the most recent, but one of them is a really good friend of mine who spent 2019 and 20 in Afghanistan. He's a captain in the 82nd Airborne. He was a what's the word? I don't know what the Army calls it, but he was a platoon leader over there. Saw some combat, fighting the Taliban. So anyway, I love that with the care packages. That's awesome. And another one of my very best childhood friends is in Army SF, and he's headed overseas soon. Yeah. So I really appreciate that.
We've been doing that since like Thanksgiving of 2020 or 2019. Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while. That's awesome. And I remember because someone had asked me one time in a chat, hey, how do we send care packages? And I send care packages all the time through this different organizations that are DoD approved. And they take care of the packaging, they take care of shipping and all that, and it's just donations. And I remember when I was overseas, I spent a couple Thanksgivings and Christmas overseas, and people don't, and you well know, people don't realize that when we're over there, time kind of freezes. We're on our routine every day to try to make time go by faster, but we don't realize is back home time doesn't stop. Everything happens, but then they also forget that they're with family and friends for the holidays, and they don't realize, not saying it's bad over there, because they try to make it as nice for us as they can with good meals and different things, USO stuff, but it's not the same as being home. So we started this a while ago, and it just kind of we just never stopped. I was like, okay, this is a good thing. We're just gonna send money and send them over there, because I remember when I used to get stuff from home and family and friends, man, it was like the best day to open up a care package, and awesome. So it's what it is. So we've been doing that for a while. Our last, it's pretty cool. Our last question is a knife thing, and Spencer will talk about you and knives, if you're a knife guy or not. But I said, what's your favorite knife blade? And their choices were a drop point, a Tonto, a clip point, a Warncliffe, or other. What's your favorite blade style? I'm gonna
have to. Well, I show my ignorance a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what a clip point is, but I would say drop point would be my favorite. And
so a drop point, that's drop point.
Kind of your standard round profile skinning knife, EDC knife. I go drop point for sure. I've never been into the Tonto blades.
Really?
I mean, they look cool, but I just don't love that corner.
So I'm going to pull this up just so, let me share my screen just so you can have an idea of what a clip point. And as soon as I show this, you're like, oh, okay, I know what that is. I just don't know the name of it. But that's a clip point. Can you see that on the screen?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it's just one of those that a lot of people don't know what they're called, but they know what a clip point is and all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with drop point.
Yeah, drop points are great. I mean, I've got a ton of them. My favorite blade, well, I've got, I keep knives everywhere. I'm a knife nerd. My favorite blade, most people know this about me, is a karambit, and I love karambits. So that's one that I carry quite a bit. It's more of a fighting blade, but I mean, you obviously can cut boxes and all that stuff. This is probably the one I carry most every day. I love it. It's got a little serration on the a little serrated edge there on the bottom, but it's fun. I love a karambit. And then you go with the old fixed blade karambit, you know. This is usually on my kit. So I took it off just to kind of do that. But then you've got obviously the drop point that's very, very popular. Probably my second favorite is a Tonto. That's basically kind of a Tonto slash
sort of a mild Tonto. I can get behind that for sure.
It's kind of between maybe a Tonto and maybe a not quite a clip point, but I mean it's similar.
Kind of hybrid.
But I do like a Tonto blade. I don't know why. They're very similar to a drop point, but just a little bit different. But yeah, I like knives. Yes, I have a problem, but and I'm one of those guys that don't like really expensive knives. I love like under $30 knives. You know, it's $25, $30 knives, $10 knives. You know.
Yeah, one of the best knives.
Thanks for showing up on time, bro. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, I had to see a guy about a gun. Sorry.
I had to go see a guy about a gun. I forgive you then.
Only thing is, I sold one. So,
well, I'm sure you'll be buying one to replace it.
I already have. That's why I had to sell that one.
I didn't go. I didn't want to bring up your business, you know. Everybody knows that our quasi co-host is the tactical virus. Leprechaun. What's up, Clove?
It's all good, man. Money in my pocket. Yep. No place to go.
I hear you. And since you're riding shotgun, as always, what's your shotgun of the week?
How about the one I just sold?
Okay, how about it? What is it?
An FIE ERA, which is a Brazilian single shot 410.
Can I buy a Val, please, Pat?
Right? No kidding.
Yeah.
FIE is Firearms Import Export. They were an importer out of Miami years ago. And then ERA is I don't know the Brazilian whatever translation to the words, but that's the initials of the company.
Okay.
It's like Escobar something. I don't even know, but it's Brazilian.
Yeah. Well, we just went through the polls, and I'm going to bring you in real quick because I know that you're pretty passionate about one of them. Your favorite Easter candy is Peeps, and I think those are disgusting. I didn't know what they were until Spencer explained them to me. I'm not a big marshmallow guy. So that's probably why I really didn't know what they were by name. I know what they are, but I didn't know what name they were called. But apparently those are pretty popular. But out in the chat, they were not so popular. So.
No, there's a lot of haters on Peeps, man.
Yeah. 223 DMR says my wife bought an Ithaca automatic 12 gauge from a yard sale for $100.
Nice.
Wow. So there you go. Jason picked up a 590 Shockwave. There you go. Those Mossberg Shockwaves are pretty cool.
I have never shot one of those.
I don't own one. I shot a couple, and I probably will end up getting one eventually. They're not something that I think is the how do I put this? I wouldn't use it a lot. It's not the most practical thing. I wouldn't use it a whole lot, but they're damn cool, you know.
Oh yeah.
I like the 20 gauge best.
That sounds like it would make sense.
Think,
man, I had a buddy break his tooth in half shooting a Mossberg 500 with a pistol grip. Kind of shouldered it and aimed down the sights and just ate that 12 gauge recoil.
Let's see, how'd that go for him?
Not good, man. It was awesome.
So we got our homie TJ from Gear Report. What's up, TJ?
Not much, man. Freaking slumming it with the phone tonight.
It actually looks fine. Sounds great.
It looks better on my computer.
I wasn't going to say it. Last question I want to bring up. Spencer's already opened this dialogue up. I'm going to bring up Clover and TJ. Our last poll was, what's your favorite knife blade? A drop point, a Tonto, a clip point, a Warncliffe, or other? TJ, do you have a favorite? I know you don't like do knives very much, but do you have like a favorite design?
I need to. I don't know. I mean, I like the what are those curved ones? I kind of like those.
The karambit.
Like that?
Yes.
The karambit? Yes, my man.
I kind of like those.
All right. I'm gonna send you a karambit. How about that? If I send
awesome.
you a knife, would you put it in your pocket and use it?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
I wouldn't even use it for work either.
I'm going to break your cherry, and I'm going to send you your first karambit knife. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love those. I figure I got long enough arms to where the little knife like that, it's going to be scary if I had to use it.
It's like a little eagle claw. What do they call those things? An eagle, the
talon.
Talon. Yeah.
No, I haven't gotten into the knives, but I do like those. Those seem they're just a sexy looking knife.
Here's the problem with knives, and I think anyone will tell you, is once you kind of get into knives, they're addicting, because you can find knives for like $10 at a gas station, or when you go to Wanamaker in Tulsa, you can find knives everywhere for anywhere from $5 to whatever. But you can find knives everywhere, so it's like,
yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Wanamaker's next time I'm going to go. When I go in the fall, or when is it? Spring? Whatever. The next one.
Was it 2020? 2019, I'm not sure. I didn't come home with any guns, but I came home with like 7 knives from one. Dang. And they're beautiful. They're all fixed blade, just different ones. They're beautiful. Anyways, Clover, what about you? Favorite knife blade style?
Drop pointer or a leaf. They're really close to the same.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of those two, yeah.
And we were talking about a clip point is very similar. Not a clip, but a Tonto is very similar to a drop point with a little different angles. But my favorite is obviously karambit, and then my second is a Tonto. And then I love a drop point. Drop point's the basic knife that most people know. They may not know the name of it, but they know the blade with it.
Tonto is like a drop point with a really sharp angle to it.
Yeah, it is.
If you took a drop point, used it as a screwdriver, and broke the blade, you would basically have a Tonto.
Kind of
every
like
knife I have.
Right.
Then you probably like Tontos. You just don't know it. You just don't know.
Well, no, I use them as screwdrivers. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Marcus wants me to send him a knife. Now, Jeff's out there. I thought he has doesn't he have his chat tonight? So he might, I don't know. He might not be having it. But if you're a Patreon of ours, thank you to our patrons and YouTube channel members. On our website, we have now, for all channel members, this is not against you guys. It's just WordPress does not have a way of doing it yet, but they do have an integration with Patreon. So I have a patron only page on our website. We'll put deals and different things that we hear about from some of our friends, and we'll put deals that only patrons can get to. So if you go to the website, if you're a patron, click on the patrons only tab. And if you're not, then why aren't you? Just saying. But I put one of the things that I put on there today is the Global Ordnance 2-for-1, buy one, get one shotguns over at Global Ordnance. Pretty cool. You buy a shotgun, and it's one of their AR style radical. I think it's a radical. It's one of their radical AR style shotguns. You get a free pump shotgun, and it's only like $389. It's like less than $400. You're getting 2 shotguns. Yeah. Pretty awesome. So go check that out.
Agree.
I think everyone needs 2 shotguns for a price of 1. BOGO baby. All right, so enough of the bullshit and all that. We have fun with those. Like I said, every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday morning, 10 a.m. on our community tab on YouTube. Go check out our polls. We always have fun with those. But we're here for a reason tonight. One, because we're contractually obligated to show up Tuesday at 7 Central. More importantly, we have fun, and we get to bring in cool people like Spencer that we've met over the years and had a great time at SHOT Show and over at the Poma Shoot and all of that. Most of you guys have probably heard of Trailblazer Firearms, but you may not know why. You're probably familiar with the Lifecard, the little single shot 22. That is an awesome little gun. And then you probably heard about the Pivot. I think we've all done videos on the Pivot, and we're eagerly awaiting the release of that to the public. But we've got Spencer from Trailblazer. Once again, what's going on, Spence? Thanks for coming in tonight. We're actually going to talk about you and your business now. We got all the bullshit out of the way.
He's like, finally.
He's like, finally, I wasted 20 minutes of my life that I'm never getting back. So what I want to do first is start out and let people know about your background, and then kind of how Trailblazer started.
Okay. So we are located near Asheville, North Carolina, Fletcher, by the Asheville Regional Airport. So in the mountains of North Carolina, Smoky Mountains. It's beautiful here. I grew up here. I joined the Marine Corps when I was like 19, did a almost 7-year stint, spent most of it in the reserves. I did not go overseas, actually, but a lot of my friends have. Yeah. But that was cool. Luckily, I was in the infantry, even though I didn't get to do anything. I told the recruiters, just show me the path to machine guns, man. Yeah. So, and then
worth it. It's worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And of course, I didn't become a machine gunner. I became an 11, so didn't really ever shoot that many machine guns. But we did have the IIRs while I was in, so got to carry a fully automatic H&K AR-15 basically, which was pretty awesome.
That the 416?
M27 IAR 416. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that thing rocked. But so I got to travel around the US a lot during that time, met a lot of good friends, spent a lot of cold nights. It rained on every single training event I ever went on, including out in the Mojave Desert. It rained its one time per year while we were there. So that's the Marine Corps for you. But this company was founded by my dad, who is the designer, inventor of the Lifeguard and the Pivot. He holds the patents on both of those guns. And he was on the road traveling for work, and he came up with the idea for the Lifeguard after watching some TV show. It was I can't remember the name of the show, but it was this old show where they you got the
old show. It's probably like the 90s or something. It was a really old show.
Yeah. No, it was this was like 10 years ago. So it was I forget the name of the show, but they're off TV now. There were some issues with the law. Anyway,
I love that.
He came up with the idea basically, which was, what's the smallest package I can fit a functioning gun in that's not an AOW? So, we've seen pen guns, those kind of got pulled off the market. There's folding pistols, but he was like, can I make this really small? And I think one of the things he was looking at, there was this kind of cult culture around making Altoids tin survival kits, the Altoids mint tins. So he was like, I wonder if I could fit a gun inside of that. And he succeeded. So the Lifeguard will actually fit inside of an Altoids tin. And you still have room for fish hooks, water tablets, whatever on top of it. It's a single shot 22 pistol. It's 1/2 inch thick. The handle folds up, and you have basically a full size grip with, the same grip angle as a 1911 single action trigger. And it's a survival tool. It's a deep concealment backup. It's a gadget that shoots. We like to think of it as it's kind of in the same category as like watches, knives, fire starters, that kind of thing, but it's ballistic. It's a firearm. Absolutely. So that was like 10 years ago that he came up with the idea. Did a bunch of design work like independently, got with some engineers, built some prototypes, wound up starting this company, got that all set up, got it in production, and we launched it in the fall of 2017. That's when it hit the market.
Okay.
So that was, what's that, 5 years ago now, basically?
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and I've shot it a bunch. I remember seeing it first come around, at least here, like 2019 or so.
It's a bit of a slow start the first couple of years. Yeah, but we actually launched production after a draft of our press release got leaked. So one day, just randomly, the internet kind of popped off about the Lifecard, and it was like an accidental leak. I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden it was public. It got a lot of viral coverage. Like I remember on Facebook, there were all these, independent news articles, and they were posting online pieces about it. Like, what is this? The world's smallest gun. So yeah, our company's been focused on building and marketing the Lifecard for the last 5 years. And I came to work as an assembler. So I've put together, I don't know, like 10,000 of those probably. I've shot that gun more times than any gun for sure. I've shot, it must be like 30,000 rounds through one of these at this point.
We were at the Poma shoot last month, and Clover and I were hanging out with you guys for a little while, and I'm not going to say their name, but there was an influencer that was there, and you had basically challenged him to shooting the Lifecard at 50 yards and hitting a steel target. He did not want any part of that challenge or bet.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one, but you hit it. So obviously you've got plenty of experience. You know where your holds are with that gun typically. Yeah. But that was pretty cool for people that says, this little thing shooting 22, it's not going to be accurate or effective. I saw you hit steel at 50, not 50 feet, 50 yards, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, it obviously is something that is a viable, like you said, probably a secondary or, a third option to carry on. Deep concealment, last, hey, something's gone terribly wrong, but you've got this single shot. It can save your life as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's unofficial, but I'm pretty sure I hold the record for longest target shooting with this gun. I've done a full measured 100-yard plate with the Lifecard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It's not like you're going to just sit there and do it all the time, but we'll occasionally just
first take on it either. But it's still 100 yards. What that is, that's crazy. That really is. That's crazy.
And so that's kind of a trick shot, but yeah, once you learn it, just like any system, you shoot it, you'll start to learn to aim it instinctually, because it has an aiming groove along the top of the barrel to keep it nice and slim and compact. And so you line that up, you learn how to aim it, and just like any other system, you learn the gun and you can make stuff happen for sure.
Well, and you're also talking about a product that wasn't designed, nor was it meant to be shot at 50 or 100 yards. Yeah. It's right up close. It's 5 yards and end where you really aren't having to aim. It's just, you've got this, get away from me. At that point, I don't know. Some people do, I'm sure. I don't. If I'm inside 5 or 7, feet or whatever, I'm point and shoot. My mechanics are willing to, I'm going to be able to hit that target at 5 yards or whatever, or, inside 10 feet at least, without even aiming at all, just point and shoot. So that's kind of what this is. It does, like you said, it does have the aiming groove, but it's a point and shoot little pistol that's meant for very close quarters, point blank, get the hell away from me so I can get away type firearm, correct?
Yeah. And well, it really wasn't invented or designed with self-defense in mind. It was really designed with like survival, like wilderness survival. Now it has been taken by the market as a self-defense piece, which is good and bad, because you have a lot of people saying, oh, 22 long rifle single shot, why would I carry that when I could carry a 9mm semi-auto? And we're like, yeah, that's exactly right. Nobody ever said that this needs to be your primary self-defense carry. But given that so much of the U.S. firearms market is focused on self-defense and EDC, which is, it's great, it's fine. Then a lot of people in a very positive sense see this as a great add-on to their self-defense gun, which we think is great. So really just, it's kind of like knives. I feel really good about having a knife in my pocket as a backup to my concealed carry gun, but I would never say a knife is the ideal self-defense tool, because you do not want to be in a knife fight, So it's like a really spicy knife, But yeah,
and you said it comes in two different. It's not just 22 LR that it comes in. It comes in other caliber. It's 22 mag and 22 mag. That's no joke of a caliber. People think that 22 is a 22. If you've never been shot by a 22, whether it's a LR or a mag, I promise you probably don't want to get shot by one. So people say, "Oh, that's just a glorified BB." Okay, next time you're with someone who's a 22, let them shoot you with it. Just see how you figure it out and see if you like it. I don't think you will.
Bad time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just going to say I've killed more animals with a 22 long rifle than anything else.
Well, I think if you ask a lot of people that grew up in the South, I was not one of them. I grew up in a big city, but if you ask a lot of people that grew up in the South that that lived in somewhere where it wasn't a major city, I think most people say they grew up shooting squirrel and rabbit or something with a 22, and that's just how it was. 22 is a great learning and teaching caliber, but it's also a violent. I've got a video that I get comments on it every day, good and bad. A lot of crazy people out there, but I've got one that says 22 caliber is a viable option for home defense, and it is. It brings so many different characteristics to the table when it comes to home defense or self-defense, especially inside a home. You're talking about their percussion. It's not going to be overly loud inside. You're not going to have to worry about over penetration. Will it get the job done? I promise you, if you shoot someone who's there to steal your TV, they were not coming into that house to get into a gunfight. Let's just be honest about it. They're coming there to steal your TV. And if you shoot them with a 22, the idea, people, is not necessarily to kill someone. And a lot of people talk a lot of shit out there and said, "Oh, I'm gonna be the man in the house. I'm gonna go, they come in my house, I'll kill them." Why? My idea is to get them out of my house. If you shoot someone with a 22, it's inside your house, chances are they're leaving and the threat is over, and they probably ain't coming back. They're not going to go to a home they know that they're going to get shot at. So people don't, it is what it is.
You watch those ring cam videos and someone shoots a home intruder non-lethally and they get out of there as fast as they can. And I'm not going to comment on the philosophy and the legality of killing versus not, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, and it's one of those things where I'm going to end the threat.
Yeah.
That's my goal. Whatever that means, if you're inside my house, whatever end the threat means is what I'm going to do. And 22 is an option to end that threat one way or the other. My buddy Rod with Aegis Gun Care says, "What? No congressional hearings yet on the assault credit card?" It does kind of look like a credit card. So
actually, absolutely. Yeah, it's the exact same.
That's the whole design. So it's what it's supposed to look like.
It's the same profile, outside dimensions as a credit card.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Now that you said it, Rod, just wait.
Hopefully we stay out of the line of sight. Congress.
Before we move on, once again, guys, if you have any questions for Spencer or about the company or from any of us, throw those questions out there in the chat. We'll make sure they get them answered on the Lifecard. We're going to talk about the pivot here in a little bit. If you have any questions on the company or anything, go ahead, tag myself or one of us in the chat, and we'll get those questions answered. TJ, do you have any questions for Spencer so far about the Lifecard or the beginnings of the company or anything?
No. I mean, I'm sure I've talked to him probably at least once, and then I've shot the Lifecard before, so it's challenging. I know that, but I mean, like you said, last minute, couple yards.
Yeah, you're not taking it to a competition shoot. That's not the whole idea.
It'll sting a little bit.
Yeah. Clover, I know you shot the Lifecard. Do you have any questions? So I know that he's been on your podcast. So you probably answered all the questions you had before, but
there's other people out there. What I would ask Spencer is, the Lifecard is really simple, right? Do you know how many parts it actually is comprised of? And can you talk a little bit about how all that works together?
Put me on the spot, but
a man's put 10,000 of them together. He should. No problem.
I actually didn't memorize the parts list, and it's changed throughout the year from when I was putting. But it's like, it's like 7 main components and then some screws and fasteners. It's extremely simple.
Right.
Yeah, it's quite small.
Specifically, what I was getting at was the simplicity of the design, and then the cocking mechanism and the safety features for those that might be interested.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it is a single action tilt barrel, and it's just got a little locking latch for the barrel and a locking latch for the handle. And you slide those with your finger and tilt it up. It'll feel very similar to a knife. Actually, like this Benchmade I have, it's got this slide lock. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's the exact same mechanism. Slide lock and open and close the barrel and the handle. And then, single action. So you cock the bolt back manually to charge it. And then once you fire it, there is a built-in safety feature, which is there's like a half cock position. So when in the fired position, the striker is impinging the round. And we made it so that when it's cocked, or when it's half cocked, the striker is not resting on the base of the round so that it won't fire. So it's just, you can leave a round in there, fold it up. You can't cock it while it's folded, so there's no risk of accidentally discharging it. You can't fold it up when it's cocked, so you can't accidentally put it in an unsafe position and put it in your pocket with it ready to roll. So, again, it was invented as a survival tool. So it's not, you're not going to quick draw it and just have one ready to roll like a striker fire or whatever. But those built-in safety features are important because you've got a tiny gun in your pocket with a round and battery, and you absolutely physically cannot put it in a firing condition while it's folded up. That's what you were talking about, Chris?
Yes,
he's
correct.
gone again.
Awesome.
He's only here when it's time for him to talk. He doesn't care what you have to say. It's all about him. So so the Lifecard, like I said, I it's been out for 5 years. I remember seeing it come around probably about 3 years ago. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And they were floating around my area pretty frequently. I saw a lot of people having them. A lot of people were at the range saying, hey, guess what I've got? Keep it in my car. I keep it in my back pocket, whatever. And it's just one of those things that it's kind of always there, which is kind of cool. And then we hear about this mysterious design of a 9mm PCC that is literally different than anything I've ever seen. Anything. And I've seen a lot of weird shit in my life. This is the most different thing I've ever seen. And for anyone that says that innovation is gone in firearms, ladies and gentlemen, I give you
long pause.
The pivot. This, I'm just going to read the specs off of here real quick. A semi-automatic 9mm ultra-compact folding rifle. Patented technology allows the pivot rifle to collapse in a unique way, maximizing portability when folded and function when unfolded. Rifle reimagined. Maximum portability, 20.9 inches long, folded, a full 16-inch threaded barrel and extended stock. Uses Glock-compatible magazines, extra magazine storage in the stock, built-in safety features, and made in the US of A. So this is what it's like folded up, guys. That is, by the way, that's the barrel. That's also the stock. Just saying. That's unfolded. And I've got a video. Clover's got a video from Poma actually doing the unfolding and shooting it. And I'll put it this way. It's not as hard to unfold it once you get the hang of it. You can do it quickly once you get the hang of it. Under probably 5 or 6 seconds for the average person once you get the hang of it. And then you shoot it. And I'm going to sit there and say this. I'm going to let Clover talk about it also. TJ, have you shot the pivot yet?
No, I haven't. I've looked at it. We saw it I think we saw it at SHOT Show at the booth.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing, TJ.
I know.
It shoots remarkably well. Innovation's one thing, but when you have innovation in a firearm that actually feels good, the trigger is great. So I want to let Spencer come in real quick. So I know there's questions out there. Even Jeff out there says, I can't wait to hear why about the pivot. He doesn't get it.
Got a great answer for you, man.
And so we're going to let you talk about I want you to really talk about how and the why. Like, where did this whole idea come from? Because it truly is, it's phenomenal. It's a great shooter, but I think it's going to be one of those things people just have to try. So go ahead, and I'm going to give you the floor and talk about the why, the how, and the pivot.
Okay, so I'll start with the why. The idea behind the pivot was to create the perfect rifle companion to a concealed carry pistol for situations where you need a little bit more range, a little bit more firepower. That's it. So again, my dad, who invented it, designed it, at the time was carrying a Glock 19, either in the belt or in his personal backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, man, pistols are awesome, but most of us can't hit anything past like 20, 30 yards with a pistol if we're, unless we're on a flat range target shooting. But rifles just changes the game. So you have all that extra points of contact, longer barrel, all that stuff, red dot sights. So the idea was, how can I make a rifle which will extend my range, extend my firepower, that'll be like an add-on to my Glock 19 at the time. And we, a lot of us have kind of moved around here into Glock 19X and some other things, but that magazine is super popular. There's tons of them out there, lots of third-party options, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was, again, kind of with survival in mind, just shit hits the fan, preparedness, fit it in your truck. So he knew it had to be small, it had to be ergonomic, and it had to be compatible with a system. He chose the Glock 19 system for the magazines. And again, he's a fan of Glock. We're a fan of Glock. We got a lot of great Glocks around here. They're bulletproof. Almost everyone has one. So the magazine was kind of a no-brainer. The caliber was a no-brainer, because if you think about the size, when you're minimizing for length. So if you feed a rifle round, you're not going to be able to get the magazine through the pistol grip, which is going to add you a lot of length. Right? AR-15s are all magazine rifles are arbitrarily long because of the magazine feeding. I mean, it's not arbitrary. You're feeding a semi-automatic rifle through a magazine, but you get what I'm saying. You add on a lot of length by not feeding through the pistol grip, and then you can get a bullpups, all that thing. But the idea here was very compact, foldable, but still ergonomic and useful when it's folded and when it's unfolded. So that's how he arrived at the pivoting mechanism. So the entire upper receiver actually rotates around this big brass bushing that's in front of the trigger in the lower receiver. So you'll see this horizontal line separating the stock and the lower. So it rotates, and that allows it to be incredibly sleek. So while it's folded, it is 1.15 inches thick, which is incidentally the same thickness as a Glock 19. It's just over 5 inches tall, and you cover the length 20.9 inches long. So it is about as short as you can get while maintaining the full 16-inch barrel and folding in the way that it does. So, and then, with and you mentioned the extendable stock, you have a full length of pull. So that pulls out to a total length of 29 3/4 inches, and you'll have that very familiar feeling length of pull between the stock and the trigger. But yeah, so
it feels just like, to me, even though it's a longer gun, to me it feels a lot like a 10.5-inch AR pistol as far as how it sets up for me, which I love. That's like, I love AR pistols and all of that. So it doesn't feel like an AR. It feels like an AR pistol to me, even though it is a 16-inch barrel and almost 21 inches total length. It's very comfortable, very comfortable.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And when it's when it's unfolded with the stock collapse, so the shortest firing position, obviously the ATF requires an overall length of 26 inches in that configuration, and it's like 26 and a quarter or 26 and a half. So it's as short as it can be while firing. And again, without having that big rifle magazine to feed through, you're cutting off a lot of overall length. So yeah, that was kind of the idea with the caliber. And, if you're talking about the world of, maybe I have a pistol and I'm going to fight my way back to my truck or whatever and get this gun out. The caliber 9mm is super widely available. It's obviously lethal. I mean, just like 22. We know it's not a big game round. It's not a body penetrating round.
It is the king of calibers. There are some people out there that are 9mm haters that say they will literally bounce off of pieces of paper. Stop. It's an effective and capable round, and inside of 100 yards was the idea here. Inside of 100 yards. I mean, if you're fighting somebody swapping rifle rounds past 100 yards, are they really a threat at that point? I mean, let's be honest.
Well, there's that, but also
not in combat, but in a real world situation, are they really a threat if they're 100 yards away?
Real world situation, I would not expect to be shooting at somebody who is further than 100 yards away, honestly. But like I said, that mid range where the pistol starts to be a little bit unviable, 25 yards and out, where you're going to really struggle to hit somebody with a pistol. That's where that 25 to 100, and you shot it at Poma. We were shooting targets from 30 to 70 yards, I think that action bay was, and you guys were smoking 10-inch plates like it was nothing.
It was no problem, and the trigger felt great. It wasn't, you guys put it this way: you didn't say, "Okay, we're going to put all of our money and time into this design, and then cheapskate on things on like triggers or whatever." Everything is quality. The trigger was phenomenal. I mean, it was it was amazing. It was very surprising. Not saying that I expected bad trigger, but I'm always skeptical when it comes to triggers, and it was great. And it felt great. There was minimal, if any, recoil whatsoever. I mean, it was just, you're able to stay on target, and it's just, it's wonderful. It really was. Clove, I know that you had a chance to shoot it also. Now, what Clover's going to tell you is, to our knowledge, and Spencer might be able to bring him off of his little high horse here. Clover is under the understanding that outside of the factory and employees, he might be the first person ever that's not an employee of the company to shoot that thing, which would have made me the number 2 person ever to shoot it. Please tell him he's wrong. Please, Spencer, tell him he's wrong.
I will say, at a public event, you are correct.
God dang it.
At a public event, you got it. That was the first time it was fired.
He doesn't need any more. He doesn't need any more.
Baby.
So outside of our friends who have made it to our factory during the last 2 years, yes, that's true.
Nice.
We didn't do the SHOT Show range day.
You could have lied to me, Spencer. You could have lied to me.
Man.
But I guess that makes me number 2. But I don't want to be anything behind Clover.
Hey, that's still top 5, man.
Yeah, you guys booked it to our
we were there for a reason. We went to yours first. We were talking. Clover says, "I want to be the first person to shoot that thing." And I said, "Well, I guess I'll be number 2."
Yeah, you did it.
But yeah, it was that was the first place we went because I had met you guys. I don't know if Clover met you beforehand, but I had met you guys face to face for the first time at SHOT.
You were in the booth with me when we were.
Yeah, we all met together at SHOT.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I had talked to you beforehand or not. I might have talked to you a couple of years ago. I don't know. Yeah. But we met at SHOT, and I was like, okay, when are we gonna be able to shoot this thing? And then we find out, that you guys are gonna be at the Poma shoot, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna be that. That's gonna be the first one we go to. Clove,
I'm really glad we did that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Fantastic.
No, that was my first one. Clover went last year. That was my first time. And oh, by the way, thank you. I know I've said thank you, but I was there at the Poma shoot as a guest of Trailblazer because I'm not a Poma member. Clover was there as a Poma member, and Spencer was nice enough to put me on the list under Trailblazer's company. So I got to go to this thing as media, but I was under their flag. So I know I've said it before, but I want to publicly say thank you. That was a really enjoyable time. I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
See, Trey, Clover can't say that.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, hey, someone's got a shill for Poma and Siopa, man.
No one has to. And Clover will. Hashtag will shill for anyone. Is that what the hashtag is, Clover?
I'm just playing.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you being a Poma member, because in whatever way that contributes to them doing that event, that was awesome for us as a factory. That was our first time exhibiting. I think it was canceled last year, but I mean, it was crazy. Like, I had a face-to-face conversation for like an hour with the guy who started the Daily Wire network, who I'd never met. I mean, it was crazy. There was like people walking around there.
And the great thing about it is it's not overly crowded, so you can you're going to see a bunch of people there, but you're going to be able to have conversations and go from booth to booth and not have to throw elbows like you do at range day for a shot or whatever. So if you're not a member of Poma and you want to go to this range day, it's at the Talladega. It's first of all, that range and facility is the nicest place I've ever been. I mean, that thing was amazing. The Talladega CMP in Talladega, Alabama. It was amazing. So go join Poma. Whatever you have to do, you need to get to that shoot next year if you're in the media realms. It's really a really cool thing. It's on my list. You need to be there. It's not that far from you. I mean, if you need to fly in, we'll pick you up at the airport. We'll have cars.
Well, it's a great event. It's a great event because it's a private event, right? In the sense
it is a private event. Yeah.
It's for Poma members, and then of course, they can bring people and things like that. But it's more intimate. I mean, you're able to carry on more conversation. It's strictly media. For the most part, they do bring in, I think, some dealers and stuff like that. Or at least they're available to. I'm going to try to get some of my local gun shops maybe to go next year.
Well, that'll probably help the company too, because it'd be a nice place for Trailblazer to be able to at least make a couple deals and get into some shops.
Great. We had distributor buyers there, shoot the rifle. Yeah. I mean, we've done business already that resulted from conversations at Poma. So we really appreciate knowing about that show. And I was on the fence about going, and I asked Clove about it, and he gave me the rundown. It took like 45 minutes out of his day to explain it to me, and as a media member. Yeah, so it was great. But yeah, they kind of set out to make that a mini SHOT Show, because the SHOT Show range day is friggin' nuts from what I've seen. It is nuts. And it's extremely expensive too to exhibit there. So we've never done that. Maybe we should, but we haven't done it yet. But this was like just like you said, a more intimate, smaller setting. I mean, there was maybe 50 factories there and like 100 attendees, like really small.
Yeah. I think it was I think there was 48, and that counted
so close.
That counted the clubs and associations like, Rocky Mountain Elk and other things. But I think it was 48, I think.
And we were in great company. There was we were right down the way from Taurus with their new tactical pistols, and like Ruger were there, Sig Sauer,
and Sig, and EAA, and now did you get a chance?
HK was there? Was HK there this year?
HK was not there.
I don't believe so.
They were there last year, and so was even Glock. So that's one of the things.
Bergara wasn't there. I would have really wanted to go to Bergara, but
they were there last year. There were several companies that were there last year that weren't this year, and I heard with talking with Poma that a lot of that had to do with scheduling conflicts more than anything. It's not that they chose not to go. It's just that they had something else, and their team was, it was worth their while more or whatever to go to this other thing.
For me, it worked out great. And Clover and I were actually flipped. I was already committed and scheduled to go to the gathering up in South Carolina a couple of days later. Clover was scheduled and already going to the Poma shoot. And we were talking. I was like, it's like a day after, like 2 days after. It's great. We'll travel the next day, and then we're there. And so he's like, well, we need to try to figure out a way to get you to the Poma shoot. And I said, well, we need to get you to the gathering. So it worked out to be a Monday through Saturday thing where it was a week, but it was great because you were 3 hours away or whatever it was, and then you had both of these shoots available. So yeah, it was a great week. I've got a couple questions about the pivot, but before I ask them, TJ, I know that you spoke with Spencer and everyone at SHOT Show. Do you have any questions? Has Jeff told you what to dog or whatever? Any questions about the pivot?
No, he wanted to wear. I mean, we're both interested to hear, as far as the why they did that, and how they came up with the concept, and then how it's been holding up and stuff like that. The basics of it. Jeff, Jeff just likes to know things like this. He likes the technology of it, but he wants to know why.
It is. It's one of those things that it is different. It is. Yep. It is different, but most innovative things are different, and it's one of those things where you have to. Someone's got to break the door down, right? Yeah,
it got the crap run out of it at Choose for Showcase. I know that, and I remember. Maybe Spencer can explain this. I remember didn't Aaron do something to it, or was he just checking stuff on it?
I thought that you guys had made a modification or something like a week or two prior, and that was like the first time that you were going to.
I remember something like that. I can't remember what it was.
The gun we were shooting was a sort of a prototype, sort of a production sample that we've been using to check some revisions to some, slight design changes on. But that gun we shot. I think we shot about 1,000 rounds that day, which totaled that gun up to like 5,000. That we just.
And we're talking in a few hours. It started raining quickly, so it wasn't like you were there till 5 or 6 at night, So
no. But yeah, we've gotten some pretty high round counts on some of those guns now, and because that's what we've been doing the last couple of months is just like, okay, let's shoot it 5,000 times today and make sure that everything holds up. Make sure it keeps shooting. And, eventually, you can get it dirty enough that you might start to have some failures, but it's solid, it runs. But yeah, did I get to the questions about kind of the use case philosophy, that kind of thing? Did I answer that? I'm happy to answer more questions about that.
If you want to touch on it, you can, for sure. Yeah, just like I said, that's part of the story of this of this rifle. Yeah. So absolutely, go for it.
Yeah. Just like I was saying, really an extension to your sidearm that is very portable, so you can have it in a backpack under the seat of your truck or in the back of your car or wherever you're side by side, your ATV. It's the backpack we've made for it is very small. Yeah. There should be.
Is there a picture in the gear shot?
We may not have loaded the backpack yet, just because we're still in the pre-launch phase. But
can I mention who it is? Because
for sure, okay.
So we're sitting there. Clover and I are sitting there, and we're with Aaron and Spencer, just kind of hanging out at this point, watching it rain, and and all of that. And he goes to the truck. He says, "You guys got to see this." And you guys know that I'm a big fan of Savior equipment. And I think most people know about Savior. So Savior has a backpack that is designed, and they're not selling the backpack. It is for this weapon system, if I remember correctly, right? Like you're the only person it's designed specifically for this rifle system to where you're not gonna be able to get it on Savior, but it is a backpack that this thing fits up folded. And it's Savior equipment. And if you're familiar with that, they're quality. It's great stuff. But it is a cool backpack that you can go gray man if you want to. But it's a badass backpack on its own. And it comes with the gun in a package deal. So it's kind of a cool thing. Yeah, go ahead and talk about that backpack. Because I thought, you talk about this thing and then you talk about the backpack. And it's like, okay, so you're all in on this. You're all in on... Talk about the whole process of this backpack, because that's a kind of an intriguing story in its own.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Savior it made it for us. We worked heavily with them on the design of it, and I'm actually not sure how we got in contact with Savior, but the idea behind this gun was to be able to fit it into a backpack, and we realized quickly with the size of it that there was a lot of like kind of range backpack or adventure backpacks that were even slightly oversized. So we're like, we're gonna make a custom bag for this that's sort of half range bag, half I mean, it's a proper backpack. You know, it's got backpack straps and everything, but it's slim. It looks like it's like a laptop case, just a little bit longer. So yeah, we worked with Savior.
It's kind of like a morph. If you can picture a camelback like water thing in a backpack, to me, it was like in between the size wise camelback and a backpack. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a little bit more structure probably than a camelback. It's got that nice heavy nylon, and it's got MOLLE web inside, and spot. You can hold a lot of magazines in that thing too, and there's room to throw your pistol in the front pack. And so the backpack really brings the design home, I would say. When you see it, see how easily it goes in and out of a backpack, it's like, dang, this thing really is small. Like there's other folding guns that fit inside of backpacks, but how the slimness of the pivot, how narrow it is, makes it, I've put it in I got a Vertex Gamut, and it fits in there with other stuff in there, and that's just a regular backpack,
Right.
So yeah, really stoked about that collab with Savior. They've been really cool to work with, and I agree.
Yeah, really they're great people. I've got a coffin bag right here that's be reviewed. I've got 4 or 5 different things for Savior. They're really, first of all, good people. Chris is good people. The company's good. The quality of their stuff is really, truly amazing. So if you're not familiar with Savior, first of all, go familiarize with Savior and know that they're in collaboration with Trailblazer on this build and this loadout.
Yeah, so that backpack, like you said, is, I mean, Savior is not selling it as far as I know. They're basically
it's not on their website, at least.
They're basically white labeling it for us, but it's set. We made a custom tag inside that's Savior equipment with Trailblazer Firearms. So it's cool. I mean, it's a full blown.
But the outward, the tabs and outside is Trailblazer branded, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they were awesome to work with because obviously we're not backpack makers, but yeah, that's been good. It's been a great process.
Well, we talk about this, and I talk about some things that, when you go buy rifles and all that, sometimes they come in a box. Very few times will they come in a hard case or even a case at all. Most time it's just in a box. I've got, like, you can't see, but I've got boxes up to the ceiling over here of rifle cases and all that. And sometimes you'll get a soft case. Very rarely you'll get an actual hard case that comes with a rifle or whatever. But the backpack thing I had never seen before. Like, obviously there's backpacks that are specifically made for this type of thing, a folding rifle, but I've never seen one come with it. And I was like, that's ingenious, because why not? Like, you can literally pick it up at the gun shop and you're ready to go. And
yeah, we're excited about the backpack. Yeah, it works great. And it, like, the backpack itself is small, so you can fit it, tuck it between your seats or underneath your seats or wherever you're going to put it. Yeah, it's a good.
Now we're gonna talk a little bit about the pivot, and the cool attraction to the pivot is, once again, I've got a video doing it. Clover's got one. There's several people that probably have videos out there doing the actual mechanics of taking it from the folded rifle to an operating rifle at that point. But kind of talk about how that works. And the important reason why is there are safety measures and protocols built with how you open and close it that won't allow a negligent discharge to happen, because it could, until you get used to it, you get different parts, uppers and lowers, everything kind of swinging around. But there's a sequence that you have to do to open and a sequence you have to do to close and fold the rifle, that are there for safety reasons more than anything else, not just the compactability. Talk about the premise of the idea of how you decided to actually work the folding side of the rifle.
Yeah, so it's Very simple to operate. There's a push button on the front end of the lower receiver opposite the trigger. So if you're looking at that picture, it's going to be on the left-hand side, just at the bottom corner. And it's just a single finger push button in, and then that unlocks the lug, and the upper can rotate, and it rotate either direction. And so I usually like to hold the pistol grip in my firing hand, press that button, rotate the muzzle down so it's away from me, and then it just locks into place. Once you swing it around, it just, mates up to its locking point. And in order to be folded, you have to have the bolt locked to the rear, and you have to have the magazine removed. So what that accomplishes is when you lock the bolt to the rear with the magazine removed, you've ejected whatever live round is in the chamber. So the idea was that you can't have it in battery or in a firing position while it's folded, because obviously, for one thing, it's illegal. For another thing, you run the risk of, like you said, a negligent discharge. So yeah, I mean, it's really simple, actually. Just to deploy it, like you could have
can do it, so it's got to be pretty. So I'm gonna put the video up here.
Anybody can.
It's certainly
exactly.
So it's just pull it out and press that button, rotate the upper round, send a magazine in, get that good HK slap on the charging handle into battery, and you're rolling. And
so, and I'm showing the video right now. Turn the volume.
Looks pretty damn cool when you're trying to get ready to go. Being a crayon eater, there's a good chance I'm going to screw this up. Let's try it. So muzzle, okay, muzzle down range. Boom, boom. Drop it forward. Mag in. Oh yeah, here we go.
And I did screw this up.
If I screw this up or not.
I got
Oh, yep.
He already screwed it up.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Just like any new system, like you just got to learn how it works, and then now it's like second nature to me. It's the same thing for me now as like running the M16 platform. Like it's not really the first time you do that. You have to learn how to do it, and that's a pretty simple gun to operate. But yeah, once you do it, learn a new weapon system, just like anything else. I mean, first time I picked up an AK-47, I was like, where are all the controls? I don't know how this thing works. So it's a totally new system, but it's very familiar. I mean, the safety is just right up above the trigger, pretty familiar spot. The charging handle is non-reciprocating, and it just goes, backwards to charge it, let it go. But yeah, and that folding, like you demonstrated, I don't know, the video was a little choppy for me. I don't know if the viewers could see it, but it's just that button where your left hand is, and then the upper rotates around.
Let's see if I can do it without volume. Because they said it was echoing, so that was my bad.
Yes,
but yeah,
it was horrible.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that on my side, or I would have done it. But yeah, my bad. But yeah, and it was one of those things where for me, it makes sense. Like I said, the idea of the pivot is to be able to conceal a weapon. It's going to take you from, and we talk about this all the time. You start with your pistol to get to your rifle, typically. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now some people might do that differently. I use my pistol to get to my rifle. And for those that might be using a Glock 19 or Glock 17, to get to this that takes Glock magazines, you can not only share ammo, but share magazines. More importantly, you get to that rifle that takes you from that 25-yard barrier for some to that 100-yard barrier with this rifle. Once again, shoots great, feels great, like zero. I mean, it's just, you saw it shooting. It's a great gun. But I love the fact that the idea of the innovation of the folding rifle wasn't just for concealability. It was for safety. If you want to have a truck gun or something that you're going to be able to put in your backpack, it's got to be safe, because if you're running or you're doing active things, it's got to be safe. And this rifle there is literally no chance of a negligent discharge, because if you do it wrong, it's not going to go off. You have to do things in a specific order to get it to the rifle and then get it back to the folded side. And there's no way to mess that up. So when you guys were going through this idea, and I know your dad designed it, but was safety like a big part of the discussion, or did it end up just kind of evolving into that?
I wouldn't say it was conceived with those safety features in mind, but the moment you decide to bring a firearm to the market commercially, it's just, it becomes part of it. You have to do it, because like we would hate for anybody to get hurt with one of our guns, but commercial customers like distributors and gun store owners, they care a lot more than you might think about how inherently safe or unsafe a gun is. I mean, a lot of distributors won't carry certain guns that they deem to be unsafe. So, then you have the ATF. The ATF's real big on, if you're going to make a gun that folds, you can't be shooting it while it's folded, because now you have an AOW or SBR, excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, the safety features were thought of pretty early on. It was like, it can't, and like the way the mechanism worked out, the magazine actually extends through the lower receiver into the upper. So it would block it from rotating anyway. And that's just kind of how the design worked out. But we actually put in there's a rotation defeating lug that pops up when the charging handle's forward. So it actually is a physical lock that prevents it from rotating.
So you have to have it back.
Yeah.
Then, it's one of those things with a lot of steps. And like I said, I tried, but I had the magazine in, so I couldn't do anything past that, because I was like, okay, well, and it's something as simple. It's like a 3 or 4 step process. You have to have the magazine out. You have to have the brace collapsed all the way in. You have to have the charging handle back before you even think about rotating. None of that happens if those other 3 things don't happen first, and vice versa.
Yeah. The stock does not have to be collapsed. It will fold without it collapsed, but to get to the smallest form factor. So it's really just 3 steps. Drop the magazine, lock the bolt to the rear, and rotate. And hit the button and rotate. So, but
that rotation can't happen without the first 2 steps, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah. So you're right. I mean, the hammer is blocked and disconnected, and you have to have an empty chamber to fold it. So
we got a couple questions out here in the chat that I want to get to here in a second. Before I do that, TJ, Clover, anything that you want to bring up or ask right now about the pivot?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That's when he explained it, I was like, because I'm pretty sure when I looked at it shot, I was like, I'm pretty sure you have to have there was no way in hell to have a discharge, because the mag is out. The bolt had to be back, and I was like, safety wise, definitely great on that. But that's what I was wondering. I'm pretty sure I did the mag out, and then when he said you got to have it out, I was like, all right, perfect.
Yep, that's right.
Bunch of questions out here that are all about the same. When will this hit the shelves? And I know you guys are close. I know that you guys are wanting to get this out, but you're also going to make sure that before you rush into getting something out, you want to make sure that's absolutely how you want it to be, because this is kind of a long time coming. So the last thing any company wants is have a lot of time and a ton of money invested in something, and then it takes a crap because you rushed it in. Ask a couple of the companies, Sky, how that worked out for them. But so this thing's been in the works for a long time. The patent's been issued since 2014. And we knew we weren't going to start with this product because it's just a lot more complicated than the Lifecard. So we made a decision to start with the Lifecard, bring that to market, cut our teeth as a brand new gun company, and then get this one out. But yes, we are in the home stretch. We are projecting that it's going to be shipping into distribution in like late June, probably at this point. Nice.
So it should be hitting shelves, this summer. And you can actually, right now, people can actually order one through our website. That'll be, it's a back order. There's a lead time disclaimer on there, and the lead time may actually need to be adjusted at this point. But yeah, so you could secure one if you wanted to. And, also I want to call out right next to that, we are running a contest that's ending the last day of the NRA show where we're giving one of these away. And it's just a little, quick little survey to enter. 40 days left. So
40 days left.
There's a chance to get one of those. They are, I do see another question in there. These are not going to be sold in California, Maryland, or Massachusetts. Maryland should come if we can get it on the roster or get it approved by them. But in the beginning, no, it takes a while to get Maryland reviews. But yeah, unfortunately, California, Massachusetts, Maryland, probably some counties in New York State, probably the county where Chicago, Illinois is located.
Yeah.
Maybe some places in New Jersey. But as far as state compliance goes, there will be a compliant version for, I believe, Colorado, which is limited to 10-round mags. Probably Washington State is going that direction too, it seems like. So any states that don't outright ban stuff like this but have a magazine cap restriction, then we will be supplying compliant mags for those states. So
cool. Now Jeff over at Gear Report, he's in North Carolina as well. He said bring it. He said bring it to Burlington. By the way, TJ obviously is he's a big dog over at Gear Report. He's a director over there. He's actually so Clover and I both write for Gear Report as well. But TJ is the firearms editor, so he's the one who gets to okay our articles. And then Jeff is the owner of Gear Report, but he lives in North Carolina. TJ's down in Florida, but he said bring it to Burlington a couple hours for me. We can shoot some video. So Jeff's there, and he'd probably love to be able to. He's probably not too far from you. Now G23 says he's here. We can start over. No,
start all again.
Sorry, start it all over. Sorry. Yeah. I do have a question real quick. And you brought it up a couple different times. So when you submitted this to the ATF, I would have loved to have been in the room when they received it from you going, what the hell is this? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this. What was the feedback that you got from the ATF, if any?
Actually, to be honest, you do not have to submit to the ATF.
Oh, you don't have
voluntary classification process. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if the ATF has seen this. We did voluntarily have the Lifecard classified. We want to make sure it was not an AOW, but there's already a strong precedent for folding rifles, and we kind of know what you have to do. So, I think we're gonna try to stay under their radar. Honestly, no need to call unnecessary. I mean,
we don't watch this shit anyway, so they don't know about it.
We are very, very strictly following the letter of the law when it comes to the requirements for folding guns. But it's just basically, if you can't shoot it when it's folded and you exceed the minimum length requirements in the firing configuration, I mean, there's several good examples of other folding rifles and shotguns out there. So we did our part to make it legal, and you actually don't have to get guns classified by the ATF. Now, if you do something,
that's especially a new one. Yeah.
If you do something that is against the rules, they will find you, but they'll shut it down real quick. But
that's probably not a great phone call or letter that you want to get a little cease and desist from the ATF. It's probably not what you want. Yeah.
Imagine if you did have to submit a Trey, just send it with no instructions.
Yeah, just
here it is. Let them sit there and try to figure it out.
Let those. I seriously, I would love to be in the room if that ever happened. If you ever do send one to the ATF, I would love to be in the room and sit there and say, "What?
Yeah,
how does this work?"
Yeah,
I didn't have a good story for you on that, but with the Lifecard, when we did submit that to the ATF voluntarily for classification, because we wanted to make sure that they weren't going to make a kind of hip pocket decision that we weren't allowed to sell this before we went to market. Well, we sent them a sample. There's like a whole form you do. Fill it out by process. It took them 11 months to answer us.
I'm sorry?
So 11 months. Yeah.
Okay, so like the suppressor tax stamps and all that isn't just it's 11 months for anything at this point through the ATF, I guess. Huh?
Yep. Yeah. So
what and I never asked this for anyone, so that's kind of interesting. So let me ask you this, if you don't mind, and you don't have to talk about it. When you submit, when they send back their findings and results, they first one question. What Clover calls ghosting. I'll ask multiple questions in one, but the first part of this is: do they send the firearm back to you, or do they keep it? And two, do they give you back feedback on whatever they, anything about it?
So I would have to check about whether they sent the sample back. I'm pretty sure they kept it, actually. I'm like 99% sure they kept it. I'm pretty sure that
bastards.
Hopefully they filled out their 4473 for it.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure that both the California and Maryland Departments of Justice kept their samples too, because we submitted to both those states. Pretty sure they kept them and said, "Yeah, no thanks, but thanks for the gun."
Hey, we're gonna keep it and shoot it ourselves.
Yeah. So, but the ATF, dude, they sent back like literally a one half-page letter saying, "Yes, we agree. This is a handgun. Go for it." Yeah,
it was a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah,
like there you go.
11 months for somebody to say, "Yeah, sure, we can't get you on this." Yeah, but this just like any other government agency, they're getting revenue from this.
I would have liked to have known that they would have sent in the back, at least say whether or not they're firearm people or not, and who knows. But a lot of people that work at the ATF are not gun people. They're just, and they're not anti-gun. It's a job, they have their guidelines and they're checking the boxes. Okay, then boom. Yep. I would love to have seen like the reaction of like, holy shit. Like I would have liked to, did they think it was cool? Did they think it was a great, it would have been nice to have heard something like that. I wish they would say like, hey, great idea. I'm not a gun guy, but this is pretty damn cool. I wish they'd do something like that.
I know. Cool. It was a very canned and formal letter saying, yes, this is considered a handgun. But speaking of ATF agents, man, our local field agent that does like our audits, he audits every FFL in his territory, which is like half the state or whatever. He is
the most hated man in your territory.
No, everybody loves him. He's a huge gun guy, and he shoots at the local range, and he's nice. He's like, now listen, I have to do my job. You have to follow the rules and everything, but guns are fun. I get it. So he's great. He's a really cool guy. I don't know how he got started with the ATF, but yeah,
it's like most people with government jobs. It's a job, and it's probably a pretty decent paying job with
I think it is.
Benefits.
Yeah.
So now Jeff out there says you should demand the samples back from the commie states. I think so too. You know what? If you're going to say no, then send them back, because obviously,
well, they're illegal in that state now. So.
You know what's funny about that? Like in California, they're only illegal for regular people to own. There's a bunch of cops out in California who can own them, because there's a special thing out there where cops can own like whatever they want. So we actually sell a few Lifecards into California, but every time we send one to a police officer, we have to get a California DOJ clearance letter before sending it into the state. It's like worse than the U.S. Department of State exporting. It's nuts, dude. Yeah, and it's just
the California. Hoops are real. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. TJ, Clover, you got anything?
No, pretty much. Yeah, if I had to ship anything to California, I would just get it Cerakoted with the communist flag on it and be like, all right, here you go.
Still done.
Because it's like the most beautiful state in the country, in my opinion.
Right.
I would love to live there. But
I love living there. But I wouldn't live there now.
I can't afford it.
It's crazy expensive to begin with.
Right.
On top of the crazy shit that happens there,
Florida's like a flat California. We're okay.
Yeah.
The Gulf side of Florida, love. Not a huge fan of the Atlantic side. It's just not as pretty. But the beaches on the Pacific, on the Gulf
beaches,
side,
the Clearwater beaches and all those, they're way better than our beaches. But.
Wow. Thanks, G23. I appreciate you, brother. $50 super chat for the men and women who are downrange. Is this product going to be available in 40, Smith, or 10? Now, first of all, I love you for the super chat, but if you bring up 40 again, because he knows that I have to read whatever is on the super chat. So he Ron Burgundy's me, knowing that I have to read it. And I hate bringing up 40. So damn it. I hope you say no to, I hope you say yes at 1080 to 10 millimeter or 380 would be kind of cool too. But is there some? I know we're talking way down the line, but are there thoughts of different calibers? We haven't even got 9 millimeter out yet, guys.
Look, we gotta ship this gun first, and I would say I would not count on a different caliber really quickly. Although we have had a lot of talks about some other caliber options. 10 millimeter seems to be a pretty common suggestion, so I could see 10 millimeter. You know, there's already the magazine support for that. But one of the things that we may do before another caliber is another magazine system. You know, we've had a lot of people asking about SIG mags, HK mags, all that stuff. So that's all that stuff's a possibility. I'm not even going to speculate on when that would be, but it's on our radar. Like, we understand not everybody's a huge fan of 9 mil, and we get, you know, year or two of sales under our belts with this gun. I could see us going somewhere. Also 5.7 is a really strong contender for another caliber for this gun.
That'd be a good gun right there.
Yeah. So we'll look into it. I mean, without a pretty significant redesign, you're not going to see a rifle round in there because of the grip, clearly. But you know, 5.7 is that's a spicy round. 10 mil. I know. I agree. I personally, this is just me talking. This is not Trailblazer Firearms talking. I don't know why I would go 40 over 9 millimeter for the marginal. Like, no offense, but it's just not that different.
Preach it to the choir, brother.
And 9 mil, you know, there's just so much of it out there. And so other calibers, definitely a possibility, but we're gonna rock the 9 millimeter for a while, for sure.
I think 40 made its comeback when the ammo shortage hit, and 40 was the only thing available. Everybody got on the 40 kick. Because I still don't see a need for it, but whatever.
No, not at all. 10 for sure. I could even see someone saying 45.
I was about to say 45 ACP would be
one of those two. Fun. You know, I would go 45 or 380 before I'd go 40.
380, you're pushing it there, buddy.
The one about 45 is when we start getting into the 2-stamp gun with an integral suppressor, stuff like that, and 45 ACP. That's some other things we talk about for down the line. You know,
that could be cool. Yeah.
It could be. Yeah. So there'll be, I would say, before you see other calibers, you might see a suppressor built for this. You might see stuff like that. You know, maybe other magazine modules.
Well, it's already a threaded barrel.
Yeah.
So
it'll ship with that half by 28.
You could make it suppressed on your own without having to go.
Dude, it's great to shoot with 147s and a nice long 9 millimeter can. It is quiet, flat.
Yeah, I bet
380 over 40. Nice.
Do you remember when we were at the Puma shoot, and maybe Clover was over there? I think Clover, you and I and your dad, we were just sitting there hanging out. I think Clover was a couple bays over at one of the suppressor booths, and he was shooting 6.5 suppressed, and whatever company that was, Clover, remind me, like it was damn near Hollywood silence.
Wasn't that Dead Air?
It was Dead Air. Yeah,
probably Dead Air.
And they had their
it was nothing. It was awesome.
They're their big 30 cal can, right? And they were like, I don't know, 75 yards away, and you could barely hear that thing cracking, let alone the report. Yeah, that was quiet, man. That
was really cool. Yeah,
we've got I forget which one it is. We got a pretty slick Dead Air in the vault here.
Yeah,
the big 30 cal. You know, those 30 cal do it all cans.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
I don't know, the 45 on that FN pistol was pretty doggone sweet over there too.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we just picked up a 45, an FNX 45 for our production manager here. OD green with the case. That thing looks awesome. Yes. Yeah. Haven't gotten to shoot it yet, but that's one of those bucket list guns. I don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't want a 45 tactical. That gun is awesome.
Jeff says 45 ACP model will come with a free walker. I think that's pretty funny, actually. Now here's you guys are all about the innovation and mandatory carry. I love him. He's a bit weird, but I love him for being weird. But this is an interesting concept. What about using the mag as the grip? It'd be awkward, but it could work. That could be interesting.
Yeah, that could be possible. The only problem I could see is if you torque a magazine, because most magazines are not super tight in the mag well. If you put some torque on it,
it's going to be seated perfectly. Yeah,
you might get some feeding errors. So that could be a problem. But I don't know, maybe with like a collar that goes on the magazine that you could slip on it, kind of like those grip extensions that slide on. I think Smith & Wesson has that.
Because if you went with like the 30 round, like, the stick, that could be kind of a cool, grip, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm assuming they mean in lieu of the pistol grip, like remove the pistol grip.
Think, like I said, he's a little different. But no, I mean, we're talking innovation. I mean, that's something. Now Mario says 500 Magnum, please. Man, and that coming cool too.
Yeah, that's I don't know about
that. Can you
that
imagine putting a 500 mag or a 50 AE through something like that?
It'd be fun. I mean,
once
put a desert, make it take Desert Eagle mags, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
Oh yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Or what was that? What was that gun at SHOT Show? The 44 Auto Mag. They're remaking that company's remake. Did you guys check that out over there? They're remaking the Dirty Harry gun.
That was sexy.
I know Clover was talking about it.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
I'm just over here waiting. I'm hoping by 2024 we have some type of a Trailblazer shotgun. That's what I'm waiting.
That's what he's waiting on.
You got me with that poll before. Well, so we've talked about making. Try
to make him feel better.
Here's the thing, though. I have to be honest. I'm going to give.
Hey, I'll let you
Trey.
shoot it first this time.
No, I have to give you one, Trey. Chris, you were not the first person to bring up a shotgun with us.
Yeah, there you go. You're not the first.
Okay.
So we've talked about. I mean, no promises here. It's not official, but we've thrown around the idea of making a really cool, really small takedown, survival shotgun, and I know stuff like that is out there, but we could put our own spin on it. I kind of want to do an assault semi-auto shotgun just for fun, like a really nice magazine fed, 20 gauge, 410 gauge, something like that. We've got some ideas in the shotgun world. And I'm sure at some point it'll happen.
Did something like a folding, something for, and it's where I'm going with this. And I know it's weird. On the precision rifle, the long range stuff, there's a lot of guys that do these sniper challenges where there's a lot of humping and rucking.
Yeah.
They have to carry everything on their person. What if you did like a 700 or something, or name your rifle, whatever, but a folding 308 or 6 Creed or 6.65 Creed that would do that it'd be obviously for a specific reason, but for the guys that want to be able to take that hunting and they can just kind of slap it up there or whatever and know that it's safe. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean that's a good idea. I'm obsessed with the idea of a really minimalist single shot big bore rifle, 308 caliber or something like that. So there's a lot of breech loading single shot hunting rifles and shotguns, right? But they breech load just like a shotgun. They don't fold all the way. But imagine if you made one that folded all the way in half, made it up real nice, and it was just a single shot. You have your scope mounted or however you're going to do it. And so you fold it over, drop your round in there. Once you pull it out, it's ready to rock, And it would be really short because, again, when you're not doing a magazine or a bolt and you do breech loading rifles, they can be 26 inches long. And that's most hunting rifles are in the 30s, so that's or more.
Gotta have integrated shell holders.
Yeah,
you could stick those in the butt stock or
that's easy.
Well, it's just like in the stock that you have with the mag holder right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Something similar to that.
All right. So on this topic, would you guys go 308, 300 Win Mag, Creedmoor? What would be the move?
I would say personally, I love the 6.5 Creed, but if I had to choose one of the three, I love 300 Win. It's just a badass cartridge. But if you're gonna sell it to the masses, a 30-06 would be great. But for the masses, I think you'll probably sell more 308s than
308 is the 9mm of the rifle world. There's no doubt about it.
But I'm still a 300 Win Mag fan.
Oh,
something like great. That. If it's gonna be a big bore,
yeah. Well, how about that whole thing I just described?
It's 300 Win Mag. If it's a single shot, give me 300 Win Mag.
Oh, yeah. Single shot, perfect. Like Thompson centerfire, single shot, boom.
Yeah.
Why are you not thinking more of like a brush type gun? Why are you thinking more longer range with it?
Well, so I wasn't thinking
Legend or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how about that whole package in blackout? That would rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
it's like
threaded.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys remember the handy rifle that was originally made by Advanced Armament Corp?
Yep.
Just a polymer stock, break barrel, 300 blackout, threaded gun, just fun. And they were I think they were $250. Now you're hard to find one on Gunbroker for less than $500.
All the pig hunters around here bought them up.
Yeah. So it could. You could have multiple calibers. You could have any caliber, really. But yeah, to me, the idea there would be to run a silencer on it, make it 300 blackout or 350 Legend or Bushmaster.
44 mag is super quiet through a can.
So you could do 44 mag, 44 long Colt 410 type of deal.
70.
Yeah, 4570. Sure. Yeah. I'd be into that.
The 350 Legend,
and
here's the thing: is interesting because the 350 Legend over the last couple of years, for all the cough shit, has become really, really popular again. I wonder if it stays popular. There's a reason I kind of went away from it.
Dude, I almost built a 350 Legend rifle, like an AR, and I got really into the research. And what I figured out was that the 350 Legend, it really was made for deer hunters in states that only allow straight wall cartridges for hunting,
like up in Michigan and all that stuff. Yeah.
Ohio,
it's just not a great round. Even compared to blackout, it's got such a round trajectory. There's just better. And so I eventually was like, there's better choices than this in a state where I don't have to have straight wall. But it's cool.
I'm convinced. It is cool, but I'm convinced that the reason why it became popular again is kind of like the 40 during the shutdown.
It was out there.
The 350 Legend was no one was buying anything, so they had all this ammo.
Yeah, I want one. I just realized if I'm going to choose one subsonic rifle round, it was 300 blackout. Probably moving towards 8.6 as that gets more prevalent. We'll see.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But that's like blackout on steroids. From what I've heard.
So H&R is not around anymore, which made the handy rifles and stuff, right?
Yeah, I know.
Who makes single shot stuff in any kind of? I'm
hopefully
I'm sitting here trying to think.
Hopefully me.
Yeah.
No, seriously. That one, a single shot rifle is.
Thompson centerfire is the only one that comes up that I think of.
Yeah. Knowing that H&R is not around anymore,
there's a lot of
the 300 blackout, thinking 458. A lot of pig hunters are in the 458 SOCOM. Yeah, it's like
I think the only thing you'd run into with pig hunters is that don't you have a lot of repeat shots when you're pig hunting? So single shot might not be
no. So the pig hunters I know that use the handy rifles, they also use dogs.
Oh,
okay. Well, their dogs catching bay, and then they run up so they don't risk their dogs, right?
Okay.
And then they walk up, and pop them. So one shot when you're 10, 15 yards, one shot.
That's
all
true.
you need.
And man, in North Carolina, at least where I am in the mountains, deer hunting is a close range affair, and 300 blackout
too. Yeah.
Like the first deer I ever killed was with a bow, and it was from like 6 yards away. I'm like,
right.
If I can get this close to a deer on the ground and draw a bow back, if I had a rifle in my hand, it'd be game over. And any round would do it at that distance, but that's what I want. I want a super lightweight single shot subsonic rifle for close range brush deer hunting. Now, if that's not specific enough for you,
I like it.
All right. So I'm going to go
24.
I'm going to go way down the rabbit hole because I know you guys are innovative and you're always thinking outside the box. I couldn't ask this of other companies that are just very vanilla. I can only ask this to people that are willing to look outside the box.
All right.
Here's what I want to see eventually. I want to see a working replica of Chewbacca's crossbow rifle.
Oh, man. That would be awesome.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on
it. I've never figured out.
Clover's got it. He's got it figured out.
It'd be a single shot, but it would look like the crossbow, but it would shoot whatever you're going to put into it. Yeah. That's what I want to see before my life is over, is a working crossbow rifle.
A one-off of that would be doable. 3D printer and hack up an old Remington 700. Yeah.
Can you imagine how many you would sell if you did come out with something like that?
Especially
I've got a bolt. What is it? A bolt 20 gauge? I've got that.
Yeah.
I'm working on that project now. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the AK-50? I think it was on a Grand Thumb video crossover.
Oh,
the AK guy built a 50 cal. Yeah, out of AK-47 parts. That was terrifying.
Yep.
Yeah. We might not ever see Brandon again if he actually tries to shoot.
Yeah, he last the last round he had on that tripod set up, and it cycled, so he's getting there.
So there's your brush. There's your brush gun. Just make it BNG.
There you go.
With it.
Through the brush.
Good Lord.
16-inch barrel. Why not?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Might as well. No break.
Set the woods on fire.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Set your shoulder on fire because it's shattered into 10 pieces. That's okay. There you go. Yeah. Good Lord.
You can fire a 50 BMG in a shotgun, right? Just saying. Shotguns on.
That's what I've heard.
You can shoot a lot of stuff in a shotgun, but why would you?
Yeah. They have those.
You can fire it in a shotgun. I don't know if you can shoot it accurately again.
That's.
There's no way you can shoot it accurately because it's
just explodes.
The bores are 1/4 inch larger than the diameter of the 50. So
even mandatory carry. See, there's some lines even I wouldn't cross.
See?
That's funny.
We're just trying to go down all avenues, trying to figure it all out right here tonight.
Yeah. Needless to say, guys, and I can tell you, and Clover can tell you, there are products, there are things that they don't stop just because they're working on the pivot right now, trying to get that out to the production and to the public. Doesn't mean that this is where they stop. They're a young company. They're pushing more. There are products that you will see that we can't talk about, but there are other products coming down the line from Trailblazer that you'll see within the next, year and a half, hopefully, maybe.
That's the target. Yeah. Everything we've talked about has been like wild speculation tonight, but we do have an actual project that's pipelined right now that we're working on. So that
right.
Hopefully at least by next SHOT Show, if not sooner, we'll see that. And
there is something we're talking about range day, and I know it's crazy expensive, but I tell you that a trend that has happened in the last few years, and TJ and Clover both know this, partnering up with other companies and saying we're going to split like an ammo company or whatever, and saying, hey, let's share a booth. You'll get your ammo shot. I'll bring my firearms, and let's share a booth. There's a lot of people that might be interested in doing that.
We're participating in one of those in our area. There's a big shooting range called Big Ivy Guns here in Marshall, North Carolina, or near Asheville. But they're doing a mini Knob Creek, like a machine gun shoot up there.
Wow.
So
that's fun.
We're going to be up there with the pivot. This is like in August. I think Rugged Suppressors is supposed to be out there. Microtech Knives, which both of those companies are located really close to here.
Microtech's in North Carolina?
Yeah, man. They're like 10 minutes away from our factory. Yeah, and Rugged is like maybe an hour down the road.
Microtech, by the way.
Yeah, Microtech is awesome. We're participating in a range event that's like they're gonna have machine gun rentals out there, demos of Rugged cans, our stuff. Should be cool. And it's regional, but we're always thinking about collaborating coming up with ways to collaborate. And it's hard for people to travel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for anybody who's within a few hours of the Smoky Mountains, that would be a cool thing to do this summer.
In August, that might be something you got to talk to Jeff about, TJ. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Needs to get out more.
Yeah, when you mentioned us coming out there, I was going to say it might make more sense if you came to this event. Make it easier on us.
He might not know about the event, so
I'm sure he doesn't. It's being planned right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But there's, like you said, well, I didn't even think about that. But if you could go and find like a suppressor company and an ammo company, and say, okay, the three of us would love to go to range day at SHOT, but we're not going to be spend the $10,000 or $12,000, $15,000.
Split it up. Yeah.
Then you get an ammo company that's going to get their ammo shot the hell out of at that range booth, a suppressor company attached to your firearm. Now you've got all three and they're splitting that cost where that might make it manageable. That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Even an optic company.
Even an optic. There you go.
Yeah.
So there's ways, but I think that I know you guys will probably be back at SHOT, but I think that I think there'd be a lot of people that would love to get their hands and try it out. I think it's one of those things, and TJ and Clover both know what I mean. And this is not by any means, you know how I love your stuff, but a knock. But I think there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be skeptical until they try it, and then they like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. He just said we'll supply the cleaning supplies.
Perfect. We're I don't know if your audience is into NRA show, but we will be exhibiting it there, and that's a chance for a lot of consumers to look at it in person. Obviously, you're not going to be shooting it, but that's coming up, man. It's like 5 weeks.
Yep.
So what you can do. Here's what you can do.
Memorial Day weekend. That's like the worst weekend at my work that I could have is the freaking NRA plans a damn thing.
I'm bringing Crystal with me.
Weekend.
So here's what I need Spencer to do. Right. Bring a firing pin, put it in your pocket, or just leave it in the hotel room. Right.
I like where this is going.
Once NRA's over, I'll take one of them home. Give me the firing pin. You can put it in there for me in the parking lot. And I'll just go ahead and take it on home with me, man.
We did throw out the idea of trying to put together like our own private range day, bookending the NRA show. I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know. Honestly,
there's plenty of ranges around there. I promise you that.
Yeah, I know. And there's a bunch of Lifecard dealers in the Houston area. I'm sure we could figure it out. It may be too last notice,
even if it's one of those gun shops that sell the Lifecard and all that have their own range, even if it's only a 1 or 2 day range, that'd be perfect.
So TJ, you're going, right?
Yep.
So regardless, we need to go eat or something one evening.
Oh yeah,
dude.
They skipped out. They skipped out. Well, you skipped out on the show. We had a blast with the EAA.
We had when you guys left that night from Poma and didn't go to eat dinner with us.
Yeah, we had
an absolute blast that night.
Oh yeah,
with the EAA guys, Gerson, EAA guys. Awesome.
Well, I spent a good couple hours sitting in traffic in Atlanta that evening. That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives in Melbourne. I can just go over and meet him at his house, and we can have dinner, go fishing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah,
Florida's great for guns down here.
Yeah.
Not
as good as Arkansas.
No,
Florida is
AR Kansas.
Let's have guns here.
AR Kansas, that's awesome. Yeah, Florida has been
as we call Arkansas. We call it
tactical Kansas.
I live in a tactical Kansas.
That's amazing.
You do. You got the fullest name.
Florida has been one of the strongest states for lifeguards.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Florida is up there. Texas is up there. Arizona. Yeah.
Step up your game, Trey, over there in AR Kansas. Come on now. Tell your people, Lifecard. Just throw in the truck. Keep it in the glove box.
3 years ago,
leave it there forever. Never have to use it.
There was a bunch of. That's the first time I saw it was at my local range in my small town, Arkansas.
Really?
We had a bunch of them here there back in like 2019. It was the first time I remember seeing. Like, man, there's like
we had
We had a
bunch come in at where was it? Beachside Pond came in, and they're all like, they're all knocking it, like, check this thing out. I was like, whatever. I was like, throw it in the back for me. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, that's awesome. I said, you can keep it anywhere. Yeah. And it's like an emergency. Well, I mean, I know you're talking about survival, which survival's awesome, but I mean, last ditch effort. You're being drug out of your car, and it's in your door panel.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah. I've thought about that. Like, you get thrown in the trunk of a car when they open that trunk up.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good comment from
right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Retirees, they want protection, don't want to lug around. Papa Carey is considering one. There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
And Gary's got one in the 22.
Yeah, it's kind of like like James Bond, just having a little something stashed away in a desk or something, where no one's expecting it.
So was a 22 mag the first thought, or 22 LR? Which one was it originally?
No, 22 LR. Yeah.
LR was the cartridge. Okay.
22 mag, believe it or not, is like kind of an engineering nightmare because it's a really high pressure round, and
especially for that small.
Yeah, and it has a different headspace than 22 long, like a different SAMI spec than long rifle, and it has it requires more force to detonate it. It's just kind of
it's got to hit harder. I know that.
Yeah, so it has a different weight mainspring in it. For a while we were tuning the strikers a little bit for those until we figured out the right geometry of the actual strike face, the mainspring, all that stuff. But yeah, a lot of people swear by 22 Magnum. It's I'll tell you one thing, you get really tired of test firing those when you shoot like a couple hundred of them in a row.
From that platform, I bet you that is interesting for sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Couple times at the range, it's fun, but after you're like 500th one in a day, that's no fun. Yeah.
Before we start kind of sweeping the floor and all, I do want to go into Spencer and say we'll give you some time to talk about where they can find you and all that. But anything else that you want to bring up that we might not have covered about the family, the projects, the company, anything that you want to bring up before we start kind of sweeping the floor?
Yeah, I mean, just to mention like some of the high points that we always talk about with the company. We are, like you said, a small, young company. We're like veteran owned. A lot of like half of our staff is veteran. We're in the mountains of North Carolina. Our stuff is made in the USA. We take a lot of pride in it. Obviously, it's kind of a family company, pretty small. Me, my dad, my brother, some childhood friends, and then we're starting to grow from there. But it's a cool, I think it's a cool story, and the product family, like you said, we are a young company. We like to innovate. We're just getting started, and we've got plans for a couple other platforms, iterations on the platforms we already have, that kind of thing. And we're just looking forward to the future. We like this industry, we like the people we meet in this industry. It's a lot of fun. I think we covered the pivot a good bit, right? I don't think I'm leaving anything that we were trying to get to.
Everything that I was going to get to, I've got. Like I said, that's why I want to kind of give you something that I had the stuff that like I was wanting to know, or we've discussed in previous conversations and all that. But like I said, this one I want to make sure that I'm not missing something. TJ, before we get out of here, do you have any other questions or comments for Spencer? And then also tell people what you're working on project-wise.
No, I mean, like I said, I got to look at it. I didn't get to fire it, so I'm anxious to fire it. I'll be at NRA as well, so maybe we can if Clover gets his hands on ones with a firing pin, maybe we can figure something out.
He just laughed. I love it. He just laughed. I'd be willing to bet that there's a range that someone knows that maybe you could guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's always people willing to, you want to do a demo here? Yeah, perfect. No, other than that, I was just, I wanted to check in. Like I said, I just got to look at it. I never got to fire it. I worked the mechanism, and I was like, Jeff was like, it's too much to do. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll take a look at it and see. And, like I said, it's neat. Innovation. We're always, fans of innovation. Anything different, any kind of, working around rules or sneaking around rules or whatever. It's awesome. But like I said, just, keeping something compact, staying within the confines of their rules that we have set.
Yeah. Another thing I never thought about until now, because there are a lot of people that travel a lot through motorcycle, and with the backpack, that could be an awesome little thing to put on a backpack and have that as a weapon for the cross country motorcycle guys. Just thought about that.
We've talked a lot about making saddlebags for motorcycles or even horses.
Yeah.
I'd love to put one of these on a horse personally. That'd be awesome. But yeah, the motorcycle saddlebag, it'd be great. It'd be a good fit for sure. Yeah.
Now, Jeff says you should check out the Primary Arms event before NRA.
All right. We'll check it out.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Looking for something to do, and we'll be out there.
They should have a, I mean, they usually do, it's a smaller event, but they always, they have a lot going on. So there's quite a few brands there last year. So
all right.
That was neat. Other than that, I got the new Saltwater Arms Barracuda that just showed up.
Cool. That thing is cool.
That thing is sexy.
I had never heard of it until you were talking about it a couple weeks. I had looked it up and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, so that showed up, and I'm finishing up the AREX Delta L Gen 2 that I got. That one's going to be finished. The BRG 9 Elite is going to be done here shortly, and then the Wolfpack Armory CSR 556 will be done. I'm knocking them all out here. Trying to get them all done before NRA. That's my goal.
Yeah, because you're going to have a whole bunch more coming after NRA to review, I'm sure. So this year's going to be busy. This year is going to be a busy year. It's not a bad thing.
It's just going to be blowing up, man.
Yep, absolutely, for sure. Clove, will bring you in. Any questions, comments, or anything about Trailblazer? I know you had them on your podcast before. But anything else, and then tell people what some of I don't know if you're doing anything, but if you were to do something on your channel, like what would that be? Is like some fudge shit that I would get a rash with, or what? Like shotguns, revolvers, woohoo!
Yeah, right. Well, I actually played around with
I saw him shoot a semi-auto today or the other day.
Well, yeah, that's true. I got some steel out on the range. Did a little video with that dropped earlier. And I was shooting that BRG 9, and then the
after you found it,
1911. After I found it, correct? Yeah, took a minute or two.
This guy loses more guns than I own.
Horrible. Where did I put that? I don't know where that one's at. Where's it at?
Yeah. I get a text about 3 minutes like, oh, I found it. Okay.
Yeah, it's lovely. So yeah, that's it. Just trying to catch up on content and stuff before NRA, because we'll have more things coming out of that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wish I could be there when you guys are down there. I'm sure y'all will get together, maybe have dinner or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure.
You'll have fun.
I'll figure it out. I'll get us all together.
Not all of us, but it'd be nice.
Well, I can just imagine the finger talk with TJ in the mix. That's going to be between TJ and Paul. That's going to be hilarious.
Come on.
So you got to make sure. Yeah, you got to make sure Paul goes, because that and please videotape that. That would be epic.
Yeah, we could do that for you.
Yeah, appreciate.
Or you could just, if we go out to eat, you could like Skype. We could FaceTime and Skype it.
There we go.
Put you in the corner. Could we not?
I mean, technically we could, yeah. That would be.
I'm on my phone tonight, so you can do it.
Right. We have the technology.
I just can't. I'm so pissed at NRA. Just so pissed they put it on Memorial Day weekend. It doesn't make sense.
Rooms are so cheap now too. It's fantastic.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Spence, for coming on. I want to give you a few minutes, and I want to be posting links to and all that stuff to your website and all that. Tell people where they can find you on social media or whatever. And while you're doing that, I'm trying to put some links out there.
The website where you can enter to win a pivot this spring in the spring gun giveaway, and also find out information about the Lifecard, the pivot, a little bit about our company. There's customer service phone number on that, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you just linked it. It's trailblazerfirearms.com. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as Trailblazer Firearms. We did get banned off TikTok, so you won't find us on there. But
what'd you do?
We just made videos about lifeguards and they popped off and then they got banned. But yeah, Trailblazer Firearms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and the website.
I'm putting the last link up there. I put the
I'm
gonna do the Facebook, I guess, is the last one I gotta put out there.
Nuked off the TikTok, jeez.
Yeah, a while ago too. It probably long enough that I can start it up again,
which is crazy.
Man.
Jeff was actually talking to his daughters when he was down here. He's like, "Hey, you need to set us up on the TikTok."
Oh, I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it because I'm already addicted to like Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. I don't need another thing that I could like. The other night I was doing like YouTube Shorts and I got down that rabbit hole. I looked up and it was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, I have a job. Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm not I don't need another addiction.
We're not on that yet.
Yeah. TikTok is interesting with guns because they're obviously Chinese company.
Now I kind of want to get on so we can get kicked off, just so I can say we've been kicked off. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Then we can make a video saying, "Oh, like they're coming after us," and a lot of people use that as drama.
So I was doing a dance in my Speedo with my AR-15 on my back or something.
I could have gone all night without seeing that mental.
I know. See.
You should make that as an Instagram reel, though. That would pop for sure.
Yeah, only if you wear your Speedos with your wingtips.
My wingtips?
What Spencer doesn't know is even if it's muddy, if it's a range day, whatever, he wears wingtips.
They look brand new, Jay or Trey.
I like that.
Brand new.
Boots are like Oxford cut.
I brought Vans. So we're at the gathering, and it is red clay.
Yeah.
My Vans would have been ruined. My Olakais would have been ruined.
You can't stain the Vans, man. I get that.
No, ruined. You're not getting red clay out of that stuff. So I was like, I wear the wingtips. They're leather.
Leather is already red brown. If you're gonna walk in red clay, it's perfect. I'm with you.
See, don't knock me.
I get it.
I didn't want to have to buy a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Holy shit! All right. For those, we're over the 2-hour mark, which is crazy. So all of the people that are still here with us after 2 hours, God bless you. I will not be refunding your time or your money. This is 2 hours you are never getting back. The only people that are crazier than that are the people that have lasted this long in replay or in podcast form. God bless you all. Y'all are just freaks of nature. It is what it is. I want to thank Spencer for coming on. Obviously, TJ Clover, thanks for coming on as well. Guys, if you're watching this in replay or listening in podcast, the conversation doesn't have to end. Go ahead and leave comments down below. If you have any questions for myself, Spencer, Clover, or TJ, put those questions in the comments, and I'll make sure that whoever needs to get those questions, get them. So just because you're not live doesn't mean you can't be involved with the conversation. So go ahead and do that. Go check out trailblazerfirearms.com. You can get from there, you can get links to all their other social media. But go to that website because there is a really cool giveaway with the pivot and all of that. Is it pivot or Lifeguard?
No, the pivot. Yeah.
The pivot. Mm-hmm. A really cool giveaway that ends in the next month or so. So 40 days, I think you said.
Yeah, I think May 30th is the last day. It's like maybe that's the Monday after NRA. Yeah, we'll be running it at NRA on the floor too. So chance to.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, that'll be a real cool thing because you'll get a lot of traffic at NRA and be kind of cool. So yeah, go check out Trailblazer Firearms. Go check out Gear Report. Me, Clover, and TJ all write for Gear Report. It's a great platform. It's not just doing firearms, so we've got stuff all across the spectrum of weirdness. Yeah, go check those out. TJ's doing a great job. He is the director of food of snacks and beverages, and he does phenomenal that job. He's actually got an official business card that says that now. So
I do.
I'm afraid of just going to put down my title when he gives.
He's got that printer now, so he's gonna lay all kinds of stuff, dude.
I don't even want to know what he's going to put on mine, but It is what it is. And go check out King Fud. I mean, if you're going to go check out, if you like Fud shit, like shotguns, revolvers, lever action rifles, and just wearing yellow glasses, I don't know, go check out King Fud over at Clover Tack. He's got a little channel over there, and he's whatever. I mean, if you want to go waste some time, I guess you could go watch Clover Tack shit. But no, go check out Clover, go check out gear-report.com. And obviously go check out Trailblazer Firearms. Guys, it's been real. It's been awesome. It has been real awesome. You do not have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Semper Fi.